Hi everybody, it's Rob Roberts, and this is my very first Let's Remember video here on YouTube. It's kind of half a Let's Play video, half just a trip down memory lane. Very heavily inspired, of course, by the Classic Game of the Week segment that we've done on OLR for forever. And you know how Dark Sakura, sometimes she picks a game, oh yeah, everybody knows this game, but once in a while it's a game where it's like, wow, I've never heard of that, that's really obscure, but I should check that out. That's kind of what I'm hoping to do with the games I pick here for this series. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be awesome and I'll do a ton of these videos. Maybe this will be the only one I ever do. Who knows? But I thought it would be very appropriate to pick this game that we're looking at today. It's Jumpman Junior, as you can see, which was in 1983 by Epix, who did a lot of epic games on the Commodore 64 that I remember. Okay, I'm going to stop this music here by actually starting the game. We'll play a little bit here. You notice you can pick the number of players. I'm only going to do one, and then you can pick whatever speed you want to do. 1 is super duper fast, 8 is really, really slow. I usually like kind of around 2 or 3. I'll take it a little bit slower and do 3 because I'm trying to talk here. So I thought Jumpman Junior would be a good first game to pick because this is one of the first games I actually ever remember playing. If you've been listening to OLR or any of those... By the way, just because I remember this game doesn't mean I'm good at it, so... don't be judging me too hard, okay? But Jumpman Junior is really one of the first gaming memories that I actually have. If you've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio for any length of time, you know the Commodore 64 was one of the first gaming consoles that I ever had. Technically, the Commodore 64 more of a personal computer, but I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where it'll always... Ooh, I got by that one. It'll always be like a gaming console to me. It was kind of in between that time of the Atari 2600 and the Nintendo Entertainment System. I remember our family got one of these in, I want to say it was about 1983. It was about when I was 5 years old. Just gave away my age. But I remember we actually got this game, Jumpman Junior, when we got the computer itself. It was a present from Santa for the entire family. So this is, yeah, one of my earliest gaming memories. One of the first things that I ever remember playing. And... I gotta say, my mind was blown when I was doing... Oop, I died. My mind was blown when I was doing research for this particular video, because I want to know a little bit about the games I'm talking about. I always assumed that Jumpman Junior was actually a sequel to Jumpman, which was a very, very popular Commodore 64 game. But it's actually not. It's more of a... That bullet came out of nowhere. It's more of a scaled-down version of Jumpman, hence the name Jumpman Junior. It took about like half the levels, I think, and condensed it down to a cartridge, whereas Jumpman was on disc and maybe on tape. I don't remember. I think Jumpman Junior might have actually also been for tape. The Commodore 64 was a personal computer, and it had all these different ways that you could put media onto it and load software, load things into memory. Obviously, the most well-known was the disk drive, right? Everybody knows the disk drive. But there's also a tape player, which is, yeah, you actually put like a cassette tape that, you know, we used to have music on. I guess kind of like a CD-ROM, right? We usually have music on those. But, yeah, you could have a tape player and actually play games that way. My family did not have the tape player. We only had the disk drive. But every Commodore 64 also had a cartridge port in the back, just like an Atari 2600, so you could load games that way. But I guess it actually couldn't hold very much in the cartridge. So that's why there was Jumpman Junior. It was a little more scaled down version of the game that could actually fit onto a cartridge. So you're probably getting the gist of what the game's all about. I think you're trying to stop this. I mean, let's be real. These old games have really crazy stories that don't really show up in the game. I think you're trying to defuse all these bombs, which is the little orange circles you see. You're trying to defuse all the bombs that the planet doesn't blow up. And that's pretty much all the story you need. And these random little bullets, or I think they're actually supposed to be like sonic darts or something like that, these little sonic darts are chasing you, which is why it's always dangerous to be around the edges of the screen, because one of those things could just jump out and fly at you at any time. This level's interesting because you'll notice I just fall right off ladders and die. But you'll notice when I picked up all those bombs, the ladders actually broke apart, and so you have to be consistently going up and down those ladders if you want to survive and get these bombs. In fact, I probably should have picked these bombs up last, because I made things way more difficult for myself than they need to be. Because now I'm gonna screw up and trip every single time. That might have actually been my last guy. We'll see. Yeah, game over. You don't know how to climb ladders. You dead. Oh well, we'll try it again. So, let's see. I'm going to put in my name. I'll just do the very classic AAA. That works, right? And I think what you actually have to do at this point is you have to actually reset. I don't think there's actually, like, you can't just hit the fire button. I think you actually have to reset the game to get it to go again. So, awesome. There we go. Okay. Isn't this funny, by the way, that back in the day, like, companies would actually put their address, like, right there on the screen? I think that's hilarious that, like, you know, hey, send your fan mail to this address. Can you imagine if the address was right on the title screen in Mass Effect 3? I'm not sure how that would have gone. Let's just do speed 1 so you can see how fast it is and just do the hilarity of that. So because I'm a total creeper, I actually put that address into Google Maps because I was curious. Like, well, I know Epic's like, oh my god, this is so fast. Fell right off the edge. I know Epic's like went out of business probably in the early 90s. I think they made a peripheral or two for a Nintendo, like a joystick or something, but I don't think they ever really did much after that. They might have made a game or two for Nintendo, I don't remember. So I know they went out of business in the 90s, so I was kind of curious, like, oh, I wonder what's, like, did they turn the building into a Starbucks, or, like, you know, what is it? Well, wow, I got taken out. It's actually houses now. Isn't that weird? Like, they bulldozed the old building, and it's a bunch of houses there, so if you, like, sent mail to that address, it would probably end up at some poor dude's house that had no idea that there was a game company there before. But I always found that funny how the addresses were right there on the title screen of some old games. Alright, so clearly turbo mode, not for me. Of course, talking and playing at the same time is tough too. Same high score table too, no matter which way you play. Ah! Alright. So let's try one player again. This time I'll do... I could show you super slow, but then we'd be here all day, so I'll do that last. We'll do 2. That's pretty good speed. I'm sure you guys are noticing that in some of these older levels as well, when you pick up the bombs, different things happen to the level. Like these bombs here obviously cause different portions of the screen to disappear. And then I was playing that one level a minute ago that had the little fires that you had to put out. Oop. See? Sometimes, what could I have done there? Nothing. The green ropes that kind of have that distinct pattern, you can only go up those ropes, and these blue ones, you can only go down. Like if I try to jump and go up, can't do it. You need a ladder if you want to go up and down, so that's kind of a little part of the puzzle that isn't super well explained, but it was in the manual or something. That, you know, back when we actually read those manuals. This is none of this newfangled internet. Although, that cartridge slot on the Commodore 64, I think that's where my 300 baud modem ended up going back in the day. Or I think there might have been like a parallel port in back too. I don't remember. It's been so long. I've tried to dig up my Commodore 64 from back in the day, and it's impossible to find. I might try to see if I can pick up a new one of these days. I know they were doing that system not that long ago that was like the Commodore new... I walked right into that. Like the new Commodore kind of mixed with a Commodore 64 emulation mode, which would have been all kinds of awesome for someone who grew up on this like I did. Jumpman, the game that Jumpman Junior comes from, was on a crap ton of computer systems. It's kind of interesting that today we have, you know, well, as of this week, we'll have PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Wii U, but essentially you have those 3, you know, companies kind of competing for your business, and then you throw PC gaming into that as well. But, you know, back in the early 80s, you had, this is what Jumpman Junior was on. It was on the Atari, and it was originally made for the Atari, not the 2600, but the computer, the 400 and the 800, I think was the other one. Uh-oh, I screwed up. That's what I get. But there was also like the Apple IIe, right? Oregon Trail, green screen, Number Munchers. I'm sure we all remember the games that were on that. Commodore 64, of course. There actually was an IBM at the time. I don't know if it was like PC Junior or what. There was, you know, the IBM that was at the time. And then this was on ColecoVision as well. Because then you had, what, a Television, Atari 2600, ColecoVision, you had a ton of consoles. So a lot of these old games were just ported to everything. And I would remember those game ads, and those of you that were, you know, alive at the time or collect, you know, the old school stuff, probably remember those ads in magazines that actually would have like the 9 screens on them that would show what it looks like on all the different systems, because yes, the game looked very different from system to system. Oh crap. Why do the ladders have to break up? Makes the level a heck of a lot harder. I think it's a bug. I'm very upset about the ladders splitting up. I'm gonna complain to the game company. Send them cupcakes. The original Jumpman, not Jumpman Junior, but the original Jumpman is on Virtual Console in Europe. I don't think it ever came out in the US. If it did, I missed it. But Europe was really big on the Commodore 64. So they got a few releases on the Virtual Console on the Wii. I would buy this in a heartbeat if it would come out on the US one. I really need to look up and see if it did. Maybe on the Wii U someday. But I don't know. I mean, it would make a lot of sense. You could have that little touchpad be like an old-school keyboard or something, but we'll see. So yeah, it's on the Virtual Console in Europe. I don't even remember what level is next. Hellstones! Oh, this should be good. I remember the ladders level, but I don't remember this level. Oh boy. Okay, so those bouncy little rocks are just coming for me. I jumped over that. Game over. Fine. We'll do again, because that's what I'm saying in my head every time the game gets a cheap kill on me. Alright. You want to see what really slow looks like? Oh, this is going to be painful. This is too slow. Yep. Plenty of time to react. Nothing going to surprise me at this speed. Oh my gosh. See, I could record something at this speed and then just speed it up a lot and call it a speed run, but it's kind of cheating. How long is it going to take me to clear the level? At least I have time to react to things like that, whereas on the first speed, there's no way. That thing would have just hit me in the face right away. There's nothing I could have done about it. But this one, you get a little more wiggle room. Let's see if I can get them all without getting shot. I'm stuck on the rope now. If one of them comes from the top, there's nothing I can do. Come on, come on. I did it. Yay. Maybe I can beat that Hellstones level at this speed. If I can tolerate waiting that long to get there. The fires kind of make a neat little puzzle element to this, obviously. Not, you know, not a super-duper puzzle game, but you do have to think about, oh, if I get this bomb and it sets off this fire, it might make this ladder kind of block this thing I need to get. You know, the game kind of looks a little bit like Donkey Kong. Just a little bit. I think it's because of the ladders and the way the platforms are. I mean, obviously they're very different games. But it's also funny because in Donkey Kong way back in the day, which I believe the original Donkey Kong was a couple years before this, so who knows, maybe Donkey Kong had some inspiration on this. They actually called Mario Jumpman, was his original name. So it's kind of funny how that all kind of comes together. Where now Jumpman is his own game, but it's definitely not Mario. It's some other guy who gets shot a lot. And trips if you get too close to the edge of a platform. Can't climb ladders. This is so slow. But at least I should be able to clear this level, no problem. Oh, let's see. Famous last words, right? Don't get too cocky. Oh, my bonus ticked away. Okay, I'm going to be risky and go for this one in the corner. Hopefully I don't get shot. Fire! Which kind of forces you to get on that rope. There's nothing you can do about that. Okay, 4 left. Oh, crap. See? Should have thought I had. That's alright. We'll just be risky again. Come on, go down. See that bullet coming. I don't know, it's moving so fast, I might not have time to dodge it. Actually, it's going to be very risky. Let's see. Woo! Yay, it didn't fire. Usually I find if you're like jumping just at the right time, that thing won't get you. Woohoo! I beat it! Alright. So in Jumpman Junior, there's 12 levels altogether, so you've seen 4 of them. I don't know if you'll get to see any more, because this is moving very slowly, and I might not be able to tolerate playing too much more at this speed. This is just too slow for me. If I actually practiced a little bit, and I didn't really practice a whole lot before we did this video here, I could probably at least knock out a few more levels. I remember this ladder level, though, when I was younger, was always kind of a pain in the butt. So the fact that I can still get to that Hellstones level is pretty cool. And I'm sure some of you guys watching are like, I can get to level 12 every time, full lives. No problem. Oh! I almost tripped and fell. See, I don't know what causes the ladders to break up. I don't know if there's a particular bomb that you pick up that does it or what. It just happens at a certain time. Oh! Climbed the ladder too far down. I like how even though it's like really slow, you still fall at full speed. It's funny. Alright, let's see if I can clear this board. And maybe we'll try the next board. Wrap up. Climb up. Oh, climb down. So you'll notice if I stop moving, the ladder just moves right through me. So I have to consistently move at roughly the same pace as the ladder, or I'm going to trip and fall. Alright, I'm getting impatient. So let's see if I can do a little trick. Oh, 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 look at that. Just like an action movie. Risky, risky. Too risky. Oh, phew, didn't die. Now I just gotta sit here and wait. Good thing there's no time limit, although there is that bonus, which is long gone at this point. Well, what am I doing? What am I doing? Nope, 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 nope. Don't keep moving down on that. Just sit here and wait for that ladder. See, do I have any text messages? What time is it? I'm doing good. Alright. I know this is just gripping to watch with the intense action and speed that you're watching me clear this board at. I'm gonna... Oh, what am I doing? Stop it! Okay, all right. I'm gonna do another action movie stunt there. Whee! Okay. One more. You can do it. You can do it. I did it! Okay, but look. Obviously, me playing at the slow speed, not a lot of fun to watch. So you know what? I'm going to do a reset, and we'll do one player. Let's do the super fast one more time. Keep me on my toes. Let's see if I can at least clear the first board. Super fast! That one just decapitated me. That was awful. Did it shoot me twice? Just for insult. He moves so fast that if you're not careful, you just run right over the edge. Like you just have to move the joystick ever so slightly to get... or not get... Come on, 6 bombs left. I can do this. 2 lives. 2 lives, 6 bombs. Oh, crap. No! Okay, let's see this. Dang it! Fell right off the edge. That's it, I'm done with you, Jumpman Junior. Rude. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching and checking out the game. You know, all the frustrations aside, this is one of my earliest gaming memories, and clearly you can see where many other types of platforming games, you know, have very similar mechanics, and this is just, you know, a great example of a old school classic platforming game, and, you know, kind of the way things were back in the Atari and IBM and Commodore and TI-99 and Apple IIe sorts of days. So thank you guys for watching the debut, Let's Remember, and I'll be doing some other Commodore 64 stuff, some NES stuff, whatever stuff, you know, I kind of feel like doing. Certainly, if you guys have a game that you think I should be playing, let me know. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, especially on the first video. I definitely appreciate any feedback if you like the way it looks, if it was interesting, or the types of stuff you'd like to hear me talk more about. I really would love to hear all that stuff. And I should really quickly plug my other projects, of course. If you want to hear my podcast where every gamer has a voice with Loki and Dark Sakura, check out OrangeLoungeRadio.com every Sunday night. And Horde House is about all things online gaming, but never too seriously. Both those shows can be found at the Voice of Geeks Network, vognetwork.com. But whatever you choose to watch, be sure to support independent broadcasting. So thank you very much for watching my first Let's Remember video for Jumpman Junior. Have a wonderful night. Bye.